This podcast is brought to you by the Global Soul Centre and the Energy Raising Foundation.
Hello, beautiful. This is the Awakening to More podcast, and I am Alicia Timmerman. Have you ever asked yourself, is there more? Or thought to yourself, there must be more? In this podcast, we explore all of the areas of your life where you might be yearning for more. More meaning, more connection, more time, more growth and abundance, but also more patience, calm, peace, acceptance, and of course, fun. From spiritual awakenings and journeys, relationships, business, parenting, and all of the things, join me as I share from my heart to yours, along with amazing guests, to help you find your own way home, to create a life you relish and love. Thank you for being here. Let's jump in.
Hello, my friends. So, it's been a while, and actually I had no idea how long it had been since I had recorded a podcast. I went around to a friend's house this morning for a cup of tea, and she was asking about the podcast and the next episode, and I discovered in that conversation that my last episode was like the 12th of May. It's now about the 15th of July, and that kind of blew my mind that it had been 2 months since I had recorded a podcast. I wanted to ensure with this podcast that I wasn't kind of creating rules where it had to be, every week or every 2 weeks. I think I did that at the start. But I very much want it to be kind of an organic thing as best as possible. And when I just feel inspired to share something, I will, other than when I've got guests organised and things like that. But it's been a while, and so much has happened in my life in that time, and I bet so much has happened for you in your life in this last couple of months. The energy on our realm is pretty massive and pretty intense right now. I'm going to talk about that in this episode. And I wanted to talk about the blah of life, the mundane nature of things, the drain and the tiredness that I feel like many people are experiencing right now. I feel like pretty much everyone I talk to is navigating something really pretty significant. And if it's not significant, it's a whole lot of little things that are adding up and kind of wreaking a little bit of havoc on people's enjoyment of their lives right now. So I just wanted to come on and talk about this because this might be you as well, given that so many people I talk to are here and are experiencing a lot of challenging times. And maybe it's you. Maybe you're feeling really worn down and exhausted at the moment, or you feel like you should be happier than you currently are. You're getting impatient about various things in life, or resentments are coming up, and there's this big part of you that is just longing for A, B, C, D. Like, what is it for you? Longing for some more moments of rest, longing for some more moments of peace, of joy, of happiness, of meaningfulness, whatever it is that you're longing for. And today I'm going to talk about that and name it and the reality of what many people are experiencing, so it's not just you. And if it's not you and you are feeling like you're really pumping right now and you've got lots to give, then please ask yourself, who is it that you could maybe reach out to right now? Because a lot of people are really struggling. Has been my experience of just in my talking to friends in personal life, working with clients. There's definitely a lot going on, and I want to talk about, as I said, like the energetic stuff that's happening, that's intermingling with this and directly connected, I believe, to why so many people are feeling this way. I feel like the masks are down more than ever. I don't know if you feel that. I feel like when you ask someone how they are, maybe a few years ago, there'd be a lot of, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, everything's great. But now people have a greater tendency to really answer the question and be like, you know what? Like, I know something I've been saying, if it's correct in that moment, I'll be like, I'm actually really good right now, like in this moment right now, but I've been feeling lots of ups and downs. And I feel like people are just being more honest with each other and not trying to pretend that they've all got their shit together when I'm yet to meet that person. I don't know if you know that person. I have not met that person yet. And I might have said this on a podcast recently, but I was having another cuppa with a beautiful friend and she was saying, you know, I'm just looking for that peaceful life. Like, where is that peaceful life? And I said to her, well, tell me, like, who is that person? And if you think you know that person, dig a bit deeper, spend a bit more time with them, and you'll discover that they are also traversing different things. They're dressed up in different packages for different people at various times, but we are in a massive purging energetically, which is bringing to the surface all the things to be dealt with and to be addressed. And even, for example, this morning when I went round to my friend's place for a cuppa, I was sitting on her couch and she's like, Alicia, you look exhausted. You look knackered. And I said, well, I could have, made an effort and, put some makeup on my face and done this and done that. And I would have, mascara and eyeliner do amazing things to bring us to life. And I'm a fan of that. And many of you know I also have a business in that space and I'm all for it, right? It definitely has its place. But also, I said I could have done all those things, but this is me right now. I am going through a period in my life where there is a lot going on emotionally. And so I'm not just going to kind of dress that up. And probably a few years ago, I would have done that. I would have come around and I would have just put on an act probably to show me in a different way to how I was actually feeling within my being. And we do that, right, sometimes. But I feel like less and less, as we're all seeking much more real connections and real conversations and genuine heart connections with people, the more people are really taking those masks down and just going, you know what? Yeah, I actually feel pretty fucking knackered right now. Even though a couple of weeks ago, I felt like absolutely exhilarated on top of the world. And that is something that I want to talk about, is this rainbow of emotions. Are you feeling in any one day sometimes like a rainbow of emotions where at one point in the day you're feeling like, oh my God, yes, I've got this. I'm motivated. I've got my head right. Like I'm feeling energized. And then at a different time in the day, you might feel completely demotivated, procrastinating, not wanting to do one thing that's productive, just wanting to curl up in a ball and jump into your bed and snuggle up and get someone to tuck you in and rub your head and give you a little cup of tea, right? Or, sadness at times coming up, or waves of things. Like I feel like humans at the moment are being called to really experience our emotions in ways that maybe we have denied before. So if that resonates with you, this is something that is happening, that our things are coming to the surface for this purging energetically of our planet and us, because we are all interconnected energetically. So there's big transition energy right now occurring, which may be showing up in different ways for you, showing up as you might be reflecting more on your life than ever, like on your job, on your work. What am I doing? Is this what I want to do? Is this aligned with me? Is this where I want to spend my time? What am I learning here? How am I growing? And are these the ways that I want to be learning and growing right now? Or is there something else for me? And even after that reflection, it may not be that you want to leave that job or change careers, but it's just bringing that awareness into, okay, well, what are the ways in which I could continue to do this work, but for it to be more enjoyable for me, for it to feel more aligned? These are the questions that people are asking themselves right now with this energetic shift. Also in relationships, many things are coming to completion. Karmic contracts coming to completion. People ready to step into newness, new parts of themselves, not necessarily into new relationships, but there's very much a getting to know thyself energy, whether it's within relationship or outside relationship. So more than ever, self-care is essential. This is not like a luxury time for this. This is like triple it, quadruple it. What are the ways in which we can deeply tend and care for ourselves? And I'm going to talk about some of those ways later on, because you might be experiencing that things that you could normally just, juggle and be capable of a whole lot of things all at once, things might not be as manageable right now, because at the same time you're experiencing a massive spiritual, energetic transition and shift throughout your whole body, and things are up leveling and changing on both the cellular level and the energetic level, like in a way that has not been experienced on this planet. So it may be like, for me today, I'm not one to really, in the past I haven't been one to have pity parties, right? And really get overwhelmed very easily, or feel a lot of overt emotion. But earlier today, I just looked around my house, and it's probably half an hour of just a bit of just tidying and get shit into order. But just you look around, there's just like a little thing there and a thing over there and this there and that. Like, it's life. It's just life displayed in front of ourselves. And those of you who've got kids know that that's part of life. And I just was like crying, like tears came to my eyes. I was just imagining, I had a fantasy for a moment that, someone was just going to knock on my door, come in and just spend half an hour just organizing that all, and I could just happily eat my lunch in just organized, in an organized house. So for you, you might also be having things that you would just normally wouldn't even bother you, but it's just the tolerance might be a little bit less, or maybe not, right? And I'm reading a book at the moment that another friend lent me. Do you remember Bride Stripped Bare, that came out a while ago by Nikki Jamel? This is a book called Why You Are Australian, a letter to her children. And she's been an expat in the UK for a long time, and she's decided, in this book, she decided she wanted to bring her 3 kids back to Australia for like 3 months for them to experience what it's like to be Aussie kids. And she was talking about the trip and why she decided to do it. And I don't know, read this part to you, but she says, I don't know why, but I feel like it could save me. I think it's the washing pile that's pushed me to do it the most. I can get the dirty clothes in the washing machine. I can turn on the machine. I can take the wet clothes out and put them over the radiators throughout the house to dry. I can pile the dried clothes on the floor, but sort them back into their drawers and cupboards? ? That defeats me. Until I have to do it, because that growing pile of clothes and towels and pillowcases and sheets becomes a volcano of exhaustion and lack of control and despair that threatens to erupt over my entire life. Does that just hit in home with you? That I read that, and my friend who lent me the book, she mentioned that particular paragraph. And like me, my friend has 4 children, and the washing is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. And I've just recently purchased a dryer, which I'd been kind of very anti and environment, but it's what are the things that we can do? What are the decisions we can make in our lives that can really make difference? Millimeter here, a millimeter there. And, there's a lot of pressure on all us householders, that's what they're called in the Indian tradition, householders who are not in the caves, not in the monasteries, but actually running households. There's a lot of pressure on householders to kind of solve the environmental issues. And I've heard Glennon Doyle talk about that, all of us feeling so guilty about if we haven't recycled a particular piece of plastic and we haven't done this, and it's this pressure on us, when actually the main issue are the huge corporations that are creating things. Anyway, I'm not going to go down an environmental spiral right now. But what are the things that we can do little by little to just reduce that overwhelm? And each of us is different. If you said to me, Leash, can you come and present to 100 people tomorrow on blah, blah, blah? I would be yeah, let's go. That sounds fun. For some people, for many people, that sounds like an overwhelming thing to add to their life. If you say to me, Leash, come over for dinner and can you please bring a salad? I am in a conniption over that. I'm a salad? That stresses me out. I'm not good at salads. I'm not good at salad dressings. All of it, the whole concept of a salad just scares me, terrifies me. So that for me is overwhelming. And you probably laugh at me because you might be just a salad, Leash? That's a piece of piss. Well, not for me. So we all have our things. So really knowing yourself, what are the things that send you over the edge, and what are the things that we can do to help reduce those stresses in your life. And one thing I think is not trying to keep it all together and look like we've got all our shit together and pretend out into the world that that's who we are, because that's a big thing to have to live up to, and it's just impossible. Recently, and those who are friends with me on Facebook have seen this post, which kind of got a lot of traction, which was I don't know, a month ago or something. I usually drive my kids to school in my dressing gown because I'm not an early riser, friends. I am a night owl and I am trying to work on that, but I like to sleep. If I can sleep an extra little bit and it means I don't get dressed of a morning, then I choose the sleep. And that's pretty much what happens every day. I'm not dressed by the time I'm getting everyone out the door and all the hoo-ha. And this morning, just, I don't know, sent me over the edge a bit even this morning, just getting everyone. One kid actually didn't even, out of the 4 of them, 3 of them I think ate breakfast, or maybe even 2. I don't even know. I lost track. I don't think everyone ate this morning. But anyway, they're all at school and they're all alive. So recently I was driving my kids to school, and I've pulled up and I saw an alarming number of parents standing at the front of the grade 1 classroom, and I was like, shit, what is it? And so I went up to the principal, in my dressing gown who was standing at the gate to greet people. And I'm like, Lisa, what's going on? And she said, oh, it's walkthrough, where your kid's waiting, going to be waiting. Good. Look at their work. And she was very relaxed about it. She was like, look, don't worry about it. You don't have to come. You'll be fine. There'll be another one, kind of thing. And I just kind of went back and stood next to my car, and I just imagined my little grade 1's face sitting there waiting for me to come and look at his little work, and that I wasn't there because I was too embarrassed to come in because I was in my dressing gown. And so it took kind of about 2 seconds for me to decide, fuck it, I'm going in. And so I just walked and mingled with some people in the playground area, whatever it is, outside the classroom, and just kind of walked in and did the thing of looking at the work and all of those things, and gave people kind of a bit of a fun laugh because I was laughing at myself. And I made a joke to a couple of parents where I kind of looked at them and was like, hi, did you not get the dress code memo? And I could see them for a split second think to themselves, oh shit, was I supposed to be in my pajamas? So there I was in my pajamas, and you know what? My little 7-year-old, I don't think he even noticed. I had to actually point out to him the fact that I was in my pajamas. He didn't care. He didn't give any bother about that. But I was there. And so, and I've had a number of friends message me about it, saying, God, I hope I could have done that. I hope that would have been me to make that choice, but I really don't know, push come to shove, whether I could have done that. So anyway, it's a question for you. You're probably organised more than me, and you'll never be in such a circumstance to put yourself in that situation, which is ironic given that that's what I've just said about 3 minutes earlier. What are the things we can do to reduce the overwhelm? I do tend to fly by the seat of my pants, which mostly works, but sometimes it's going to, do what it does. But then it's just human. That's us being human and realizing that, acknowledging that. And even one of my friends there actually introduced me to another friend. She said, she introduced us, and the other woman who I'd never met was like, no, I have not met you, Alicia, but I think I want to be friends with you. Because I was just there in my dressing gown, it broke down some barriers. And my friend said to me, she said, you just need a badge that says single mum of 4, which basically means everyone just give me grace, please. I have not got everything organized. That's just, we're kind of just holding it all together. Lucky to get everyone to school at the various times. So I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on energetically, and I'm going to share actually a message from one of my guides where she talks a little bit more about this as well. So this purging, this transition, this energetic shift that's occurring, I believe, and again, don't believe anything I say, just feel things through your own filter. But what I believe this means is that things that we have pushed down, suppressed, not dealt with, again, coming to the surface to be addressed and dealt with. And so the theatre production of this world that we are, this play, with all the players in it, things are being packaged up for us in various ways. Different humans are coming in to play different scenes and playing things out for us to really start to learn different lessons, to experience different things, to clear old stuff, old energy. You can call karma, you can call it whatever you want. Not only from this lifetime, but for many right now. And what it's meaning is that many of us, and I know for me, we're kind of equally experiencing opposite emotions in our body. So for me, on the one hand, there's so much excitement that I feel for my life. So much happiness, so much genuine fulfillment. At the same time, I'm experiencing so many more emotions on the flip side than I ever have, of deep sadness at times. There's transitioning energy for me, grieving for things that maybe would have been that are not to be, just through the reality of life, the mundane stuff of life. I was not going to share this. Okay. On Saturday, I was just cooking a soup and I just felt this overwhelming emotion come over me and just kind of work its way through me. And it wasn't even to do with anything in the reality of this human life. It was actually this longing and missing of being with my soul family, my family beyond here, missing communicating with Jesus. So some of you might check out at this point, but I just feel deep within me, like a knowing of him and a spending time with him, which I believe all of us have. Again, that might not be something you're interested in. And just missing being held in that energy, that really strong, powerful, but yet loving mix of the masculine and the feminine energy to really hold me. I felt a longing, a missing of that. And so when a couple of friends were talking about going out to dinner or something and one couldn't then make it, and I just text back saying, yeah, that's like totally fine with me. I'm actually feeling really emotional right now anyway. And so they just assumed it was stuff going on in my personal life and messaged me. And I'm like, do you know what? Even though I've had a lot of emotions with that, this is actually something entirely different to that. So there might be a missing that you're experiencing, there's a part of you that knows how it feels to be in full alignment and harmony with your soul, with your spirit family. And there might be a part of you that is just missing that, deeply missing that. So that was what I was experiencing recently. So I'll share that with you. So there are seasons of our lives, and just because you're normally a certain type of a person, you might find that there are other parts of yourself wanting to come forward, like just in the way that we have the various, winter and the cocooning. Like I feel like I'm in a very cocooning period right now. Normally I'm quite productive, hence why I've done no podcast for 2 months, because I've just been kind of insular. A bit more cocoony and not really feeling like necessarily a lot of output, much more inner time, going gently, not filling the diary, not packing everything in, saying no to a lot more things, really honouring time more. So if you're feeling a different way to how you've been in the past, or how you've constructed yourself to be, or think you are a certain person, just listen to that rather than continue, maybe, just a suggestion, to push back into the ways you've always been in the past. So I want to share the message from Maya, and then I'll just talk about a few practical and emotional steps. If you are feeling blah, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling worn down, you are feeling tired, of things that help me to be able to keep going, right? Because that's what we do as humans. We have this incredible tenacity, the incredible capacity to go, you know what? Okay, another day of sunshine that is coming for us. Precious gift that we're being given each day. So this is a message from one of my guides. She's my healing guide that does all the healing work through me. Her name's Maya. She comes through usually on a Monday. I run a little online 30-minute class, a soul class, which is like 10 minutes of a healing visualization, 10 minutes from a guide and 10 minutes from another guide who does like breath work, qigong through me. So this is the message that she gave through. It's been typed out here, so I hope I mightn't be perfect, but I'll do my best to kind of read it to you from her. Okay, so this was from the middle of June. So she says, Earth is receiving great transmissions of energy for you all. You are all the recipients. Those of you in human form of the new information that is being bestowed upon you to speak on your earth. This is a time of great transformation, and thus many in your form are experiencing great transformation, big transformation in your own experiences of being in human form. This is occurring both at the individual level and also the collective. So this is a time for you to either be an active participant in the transformation or to be taken along for the ride. So you get to choose how connected you wish to be with the current shift in energy transformation. This can be for those who want to truly co-participate, extraordinarily powerful, for the capacity for each of you to make decisions, make choices about how it is you want to be and experience your human journey. So you are at a time when you can create a new capacity for many of the built up programs and systems in your human nature. Bodies are now able to be renewed significantly. The capacity to do that is where it has never been before. So you are able to truly create fresh in many ways without being pulled back down by old belief patterns and systems. The capacity to disentangle you from those is easier than it has ever been. So you can truly step into this if you want to create aspects of this new version of you. You are able to disentangle much faster than has been previously available to you. This provides a very ripe and fertile opportunity for humans. For you, for the aspects of you that have weighed you down in the past, you have the opportunity now to step into new versions of you. They are all appearing and all available to you. It is up to you how you drive this transformation, if you do or if you don't. So, we are grateful to have the interactions with you all, but ultimately it is you and only you who can decide how active, how conscious you choose to be in your daily life, in the choices that you make for your fullness, the full capacity and awareness that is you to experience itself, where you are and your earthly realm. So you hold the keys, but the number of doors and the options available are expanded for you right now. The varied options of experiences are expanded right now for you if you choose to step in. But how? So come into that part of you that is full of grace, full of heart, full of love, and access your decisions for your daily life from there. And in that awareness, you are not held back by the past. You are not held back by the fears. You are not held back by any such things that will grip you and not allow you to proceed and to take steps into the new doors, so to speak. So the more that you step into your heart, your love, your grace, the more you can make decisions for your own freedom, for you to experience the fullness of a free experience where you are in your form. So thank you and enjoy, explore, and know that you are stepping into this for humanity, the most free era, shall we say, for those who truly choose to embrace this opportunity. Thank you. So that was Amaya and her message. So that message I hear in combination with other messages that she's given around the purging of much in our frequencies, and how she's saying in this message that this is a time, and she's spoken to me before about this, around that we're able to kind of clear stuff much faster than before. And that's why I think so many people are going through so much, and things that maybe we'd kind of take years to work through. It's just like, feels like everything's on super speed of learning and growing, which is what we're here for. So even though it feels tricky and tough, there's another part of you that's like, yes, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, our soul just loves experiencing everything here. There's no good or bad from our soul's perspective. We feel emotions, like just in the way that you feel pure joy, and you feel, when you feel really deep, harrowing sadness, it's like, for your soul, it's like, oh, they're an equal experience, because it's like really getting into it, fully being in that humanity and experiencing those emotions. So before I love and leave you, just some very tiny things, some just practical steps maybe if you are feeling a bit blah, a bit tired, a bit overwhelmed by things right now. Maybe what worked for me today was I had a shower. I used a beautiful body scrub. I just nurtured myself, spent that time connecting with my body, being grateful for my body, going back to basics, like really caring for yourself, like you would love to be cared for. If you had someone that just like, tended to you and tucked you into bed and brought you the cup of tea, and, just doing that for yourself, or going and getting someone to give you a body scrub, or a massage. Like, I've just booked in for a massage. Like, that's a big part of my self-care regime. Wholesome meal was the next thing that I did today. So I had a really beautiful shower, the beautiful body scrub. Give a plug for it. If you want amazing products, reach out to me. Then, this is the first time I'd used that body scrub, and it smelled beautiful. I hate artificial chemicals and blah blahs. So wholesome meal. I had made a beautiful wholesome soup, which I just sat down and ate and kind of cried into my soup. But that, I just felt better. I was like caring for myself, tending for myself. For me, I put on some music, like just some music that was going to just feel good, just to shift that frequency. I've acknowledged the sadness, I've acknowledged the stuff, acknowledged the overwhelm, and then just like, okay, all right, shifting that. And whatever it is that you believe in, like, no matter how much we've got to deal with here, no matter the troubles, no matter the struggles, no matter all of the things, when you have a faith in something beyond here, when you have a deep, deep faith, a knowing, a sense, a belief, even if it's a tiny belief, like, what if there is something beyond here? And as that grows, like, it's I believe it's in all of us, the capacity for that beautiful gem that's waiting to be connected into and put the plug into. Personally, if I didn't have that faith in God, whatever you want to call it, I don't see it as a religious God for me personally. Not in the way that any of the religions have demonstrated that God, but for me it's like a pure love, omnipotent, omnipresent, intelligence beyond intelligence, holding everything together, all that is and all that will ever be. If I didn't have that faith, I don't think I'd be able to function very well when hard times hit. It's that faith beyond me, knowing that things are being held together in ways that I don't understand, that everything is learning and lesson, and that I chose this experience and I've chosen human stuff to go through and wade through, and like that, personally for me, makes everything manageable, beyond manageable. Like the joy is then available, to see the joy in the shit, to see the the little treasures that exist in the day-to-day ups and downs. So they're just some very basic things, just some what are some basic, really basic physical self-care for you? Like, what do you need? Walk into nature, a bath, some salts, body scrub, wash your hair, eat a yummy meal, make a yummy meal, like whatever it is for you, to really get in touch with your physical self and appreciation for that body. And then emotional steps. What's some emotional steps you can do to help yourself? Simple one. And I try and tell my kids this one, just literally just placing your hand on your heart. This is obviously not my idea. This is just place your hand on your heart and just give it a little rub. Like, it's okay, baby. It's okay. You're ultimately safe. You're going to get through this. Even just cuddle yourself. Like, you can give yourself a really good love and a really good hug. I'm doing it right now. Just telling your nervous system, just like, I've got you, babe. Like, we're good. We're okay. And just giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a rub. Oh, that sounded a bit dodgy, didn't it? Give yourself a rub. Well, you can. Like, I'm all up for that as well. So, and like, what's the next useful thing you can do for yourself emotionally? Like, just one thing, one thought you could have about yourself, whatever situation it is. What's a useful way to look at it? What's something that you could tell yourself that is empowering, that is helpful, that is not placing you into a disempowered state? Something emotional that you can really say to yourself and really feel it through your body. Because you are so much more powerful than any of us realize. We are so much more powerful than we know, than we're currently experiencing. We're experiencing ourselves in such a limited form here in this realm, and that's part of the design. But there's so much more to us. Even if we just start to access that another millimeter of it, another millimeter of your expansion and what is available to you. And you also might do some practical things around, okay, like, what other things I could do to get some help? Because I don't know about you, but I am shocking at asking for help. We don't like to step into vulnerability, you know? Many of us have kind of been taught we got to just get it all done, sort it all out, manage it all. And actually, and I've seen this in a presentation where the facilitator was like, put your hand up if you want to help, if you like helping people. I've probably said this in the podcast. I know I say all the same things over and over, but, you know, put your hand up if you really like helping other people. 100% of the room, hands are up. Put your hand up now if you ask for help regularly. Feel okay asking for help. You know, 5% of the room might have put their hand up. So all these people are out there waiting and wanting to help, but no one's actually asking anyone for help. And I've experienced that just this morning, where I was feeling overwhelmed. And I've reached out to some friends, and boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. Yes, we can do that. Like, what support do you need? And maybe have that courage to ask. And as my mum says, ask for what you need and I'll give you what I can. So asking someone, they're not always going to be able to help you, right? But if they can, they will. And if they can't, they can't on that occasion. but they can maybe next time. But we're supposed to be living in village. We're supposed to be helping and assisting, and it all going in and out and around, back and forth. But instead, we're all living in these insular places, is all mostly separated from each other, trying to manage everyone's own little kingdoms. And this is why. This is the root of why the exhaustion and the tiredness is flying across everyone on a practical level, plus the energetic stuff that I've spoken about already. So let's create this village. Let's have the courage to ask for help. Let's have the courage to also, share the vulnerable parts of ourselves. Let's have the courage to have conversations and to check in with other people around what they might need, what support they might need, when you can, when you've got extra. But if you're just kind of holding stuff together and you maybe don't have extra, okay, don't start offering help because you've got to have your full cup. Got to have your full cup first. So I think I have chatted on enough now. One last thing. There's always one last thing. What can you do to not only get help, but what are the things that you could do just to make little things less hard for you? And I just want to leave you with this example, which is I was walking the dog yesterday morning and a woman was walking in front of me. And from where she was to the train station, I don't know, it might have been like a 7-minute walk. She was walking in these stiletto boots. Every step, I'm behind her. Every step I was feeling pain as I watched her walk in these stiletto boots. It was wet, it was rainy, and it just looked so uncomfortable. It looked like she's going to slip any moment. And I kind of took a different direction, and then I saw her coming closer to the station. And at that point, she's starting to run because I think she's thinking she's going to miss her train. So I see her like struggling, running in these stiletto boots. And maybe this is a judgment of me, but I'm like, why? I don't understand. The boots, put them in your bag. Put a comfortable pair of shoes on to get yourself to and from work. Why put yourself through that pain? It's unnecessary. I don't understand. I don't know. I always like to choose comfort over maybe aesthetics and looks, and maybe there's a deeper reason why people do this. But if that's you and you're like Alicia, you don't know what you're talking about, don't be ridiculous. Absolutely, I would never do that. I'm not swapping shoes. I'm not being one of those people. Okay, that's fine. I accept it. I love you anyway. But it just was like an analogy for me of, as humans, we could make some things easier for ourselves and don't just choose the hard way. Even if it's just something you've always done it that way, or that's how we think we're supposed to do it, or we're caring what other people think about us. Don't want to look at wear the daggy shoe runners, whatever, on the train. Like, let's care less about what other people think and place our own comfort above that, as long as we're not harming people. So that's what I'm ending with. The lady walking in the stilettos to the station. I hope I see her in her runners. I'm sure she won't listen to this podcast. All right, friends. Last thing, what else? I've got a couple of cacao ceremonies that I am running. One on Friday night, the 2nd of August in Surrey Hills in Melbourne. Sorry, I've had like 3 people excited from New South Wales when I put on Facebook to message me to say, oh my God, you're coming to Sydney. Is that Sydney? But sorry, it's Melbourne, Surrey Hills, 7 till 9 on 2nd of August. Bringing together men, women. It's open to everyone to have a beautiful ancient ritual cacao plant medicine ceremony circle together. And also on September the 12th. At this stage, they're the only 2 events I've got for the rest of the year, except for Silent Retreat in mid-November, which is almost sold out. We've got 2 rooms left for that if anyone wants to join for a digital detox nervous system reset. My favorite retreat, actually, to watch the transformation from the start to the end for people who come. So if that appeals to you, please reach out, because those last spots will be ready and waiting for someone, and it might be you. And the last thing is my soul class I run every Monday morning, half an hour to really reset yourself, get yourself ready for energetically for the week, 6:30 a.m. till 7. It's a bit early for some people. You can watch the recording. Lots of people watch it various times. And yeah, any other questions, reach out, and just take care of yourself out there, because it's pretty full on, the energies, and it's all for us. It's the most exciting time to be here. We chose to be here at this time, so we're just riding it through. So be gentle, slow down where you can, self-care, look after yourself, and continue to lead your life with love for you and for others. Mwah! I love you.
So grateful to you for listening. I'd love you to share this. If you got value, rate and review my podcast so I can reach more humans. For loads of free resources, go to aliciatemmerman.com, and that'll take you to my offerings in spaces I play in, my spiritual wellness business, retreats, one-on-ones and other things. Also, I love working with couples, so check out the Marriage Hub. Finally, I have been an employment lawyer for over 20 years now, and I work in workplace mediation, conflict resolution, and mediation in other areas too. Dumais, D-U-M-A-I-S, Workplace Services is where you'll find all that info. I love you. Take good care of you.